Well, hello again to you, dear ones. In this video, we intend to review one of the important technical analyses together. The analysis we want to talk about is the ascending and descending channel, or upward and downward channels. In general, any price chart of a stock that is trending, or as we say, has a tendency, falls into a trend. In a primary, long-term ascending and descending trend, positive or negative, we can draw a channel for it, and within that channel, plot the buy and sell signals of the stock and observe them. All right, let's see together how we can perform this analysis. I assume that the price chart of a stock is like this. An upward trend has formed for the chart. And after that, the chart has entered a downward trend, and so on. Well, in an upward trend, and as long as we can see that trend as upward on the price chart with the naked eye, we can make some changes to the chart. I can see various points on the chart where each time the stock price chart has decreased, a support has formed on the chart, and that support has caused the chart to grow again. Previously, in the discussion of the second principle of technical analysis, if you remember, I emphasized a lot that you should always review these three principles together. When you analyze charts, you remember that we said charts like to continue their trend. That is, if they are upward, they like to remain upward, and if they are downward, they like to remain downward. An event occurs, a support is created, a resistance is formed that changes the direction of the chart's movement. So now if you look at this trend, this small upward wave that has formed here, the chart has exactly been created a resistance at this point, which has caused the chart to start declining. Or at this very small point, a support has been created that has caused the chart to actually be supported here and to bounce back a bit. It has declined again and come down. Here, a support has been created. A support has emerged that has caused the chart to take on an upward trend. Resistance at the top, support at the bottom, resistance at the top, support at the bottom, and thus these various resistances and supports are formed. For analyzing an ascending channel or ascending canal, we first need to determine the supports and resistances in order in an upward trend. Let's find the supports together. I will show the supports with a blue line. For example, here the stock was supported and went up. Here we have a small support. We see it went down. At this point, it was supported. It went up and then came down again. Here it was supported again. It went up again and came down. Here it was supported. It came down again. Here it was supported a little. It went down. Here it was very well supported. It came back again. Here it was supported. It went up and came. At this point, it was supported. It went up and came. At this point, it was supported. You can see the support points. See, here again, we have a very small support. Here we have support again. Here we have support. This point has support. This point is support, and so on. We see the supports at different points. Now, if we want to find the resistance points, I will show it in red. Well, here we have a resistance. Resistance has been created here. On the chart, we have a resistance here. We have one resistance here. Here, we have resistance here. Here, resistance. You see, guys, exactly the points that, or let me tell you more easily, the points where you see peaks on the chart, wherever you see a valley, it's support. Wherever you see a peak, it's resistance. And I have these resistances I draw here on the chart. And so on. Okay. An important point is that I need to use a line to be able to draw a completely one or a straight line so that I can draw my line from the engineering location here to the maximum number of supports. I mean, I want to choose a line here now. That creates the maximum number of support points from the engineering point of connection. If I come here and draw a line, for example, I won't draw the line now because my screen might become cluttered. I don't want to make it too crowded. Look, if you draw a line here, guys, this is resistance, this is support, this is support, this is support. It connects these supports together. But look down here at how many support points there are. I see a lot of support points here. So let's do something. Let's draw a line here, like this. What I am clearly seeing, this line. It is created by connecting the maximum number of support points. Now, because I'm drawing by hand, it's not that straight, but we can draw such a straight line much more easily later on software. Okay, I draw this line, and this line means a line that is drawn from the geometric location of the maximum number of supports. It's called trend line or trend line. The trend line or trend line is very, very important in forming an ascending channel. Now I have to draw my next line, which is obtained from the geometric location of connecting the maximum number of resistances in such a way that this line is completely parallel to my trend line. Pay attention to this point. We have two topics. One, the line we want to draw must first be parallel to the trend line. Secondly, it should pass through the maximum number of resistances. Well, let's take a quick glance. I feel this line can be a very good line. Of course, well, it didn't become very parallel, but our effort is that, my assumption is that the line is parallel. See, it has crossed various resistances and moved up to here, correct? The line we draw here is called a channel, la line or channel, ush line. When you guys draw the trend line and the channel line, what have you drawn? You have drawn a ascending channel. The ascending channel line is drawn in this way. Now we want to see how we can profit from this channel we have drawn. Always pay attention to where the price chart of the stock, where we start from here, where the price chart of the stock, your channel line. See, I will show this in a different color so you can see it better. Where the price chart of the stock touches the lower line of your channel, which is the trend line. See where the first spot is? The first one is this support. I will make it square shaped so you can fully understand. Here, guys, is a powerful beta buy signal. It's a powerful buy signal for you. It's a buying signal. And once you've bought the stock, just wait. Let the chart make its move within the channel. Let it move, move, and move until the chart finally touches the top of your channel, which is your channel line. Where is that? Right here. What is this, guys? This is a powerful sell signal. So at this point, you should proceed to sell the stock. Now, how much profit did you make? From this area, if I show it in a different color, you made a profit from this level to this level. You took a significant amount of profit from the stock's price chart And now wait. When you have sold your stock and secured your profit, wait. The chart will move again in the coming days, and eventually one day it will hit the bottom of the channel again. At the next bottom of the channel, once again, what do you have, guys? You have a buying signal. Buy and wait until it touches a peak once again. What do you have here? You have a selling signal, and so on. But the important point in analyzing ascending channels is that I can use this strategy only when the chart is still within this ascending channel and has not exited the ascending channel. When does the chart exit the ascending channel? When the chart reaches a point where it finally breaks the ascending channel, the trend line of the ascending channel at a certain point. This break that occurs here, this point is very important and noteworthy. What is that point, guys? That point is our breakout point. That breakout point, or our point of break. When this point of break occurs and the chart moves 3% away from it, you should no longer use this strategy. We call this the death of the ascending channel, or the end of the life of an ascending channel. Here the ascending channel disappears and the chart enters a new channel for which you need to use a different analysis. Well, up to this point, the point I mentioned to you was about analyzing the ascending channel and obtaining buy and sell signals on an ascending channel. But next, we want to talk about analyzing a descending channel and see how one can profit from a stock in a descending channel. Well, I come here and clear these items. I come and draw a channel. I come and create a price chart for the stock. Let's say we have a price chart. This chart had taken on an upward trend. It has risen to the top. It has reached a point where it has negative fluctuations and has come down. Now let's take the ascending channel we learned before and see how we draw a descending channel and how we work with it. To draw a descending channel, just like the ascending channel, we again need to draw or identify resistance and support points. But note that in a descending channel, we no longer start by selecting the supports and then the resistances. First, we need to find the resistances. We first go for the resistances. Look, I have a resistance here. One here. One in this area. One in this area. In this area. I find all my resistance points on this descending channel. And so on. Once you have found the resistance points, you then proceed to actually draw the trend line. Notice that in the ascending channel, our trend line was at the bottom, which was created from the engineering connection of supports. But in the descending channel, the trend line is the one at the top, created from the engineering connection of resistances. All right, let's draw this line. We'll draw it very carefully and meticulously with great precision using this red line. A line like this. Now let's try to make it more precise, make it more accurate. But you should obtain the line that is created from the connection of resistances. Just pay attention to one point, guys. Try to keep your trend line at a distance. That is, it shouldn't be too close on the chart. If you notice, the more your line is inside the chart, the more compressed your channel becomes, and it gives you false signals. The larger the channel, the easier it is to see the signals. Well, now to make this a bit more natural, since I'm drawing it by hand, like this. For example, suppose the chart was like this here and it came and hit this point. and it created a resistance here. Well, now let's move on to the support points. Let's draw the supports together. I have a support here. One support. One support here. One support here. Support here. Support here. These are my supports. Well, now I want to draw a line that comes from connecting the supports. I hope my line turns out well, with the assumption that we are drawing a line from connecting the supports. Well, we drew the support line. Just keep in mind that our trend line was down there. Here the trend line is up. Here, down here, up there, we had a channel line. Here at the bottom, we have a channel line. And when we drew the trend line and the channel line like this, what did you draw, guys? Great. You drew a channel. A descending channel. Well, now we want to see if I can profit from a stock in a descending channel as well? Yes. In a descending channel, when your stock's price chart finally breaks its channel line on the supports, that is in this area, here I consider it as a buy signal. And when it breaks the resistance area, at the first resistance zone, I have a sell signal. And so on, again a buy, again a sell signal. But one point you need to pay attention to is that generally our effort is to take profit from the stock in an upward trend, and in a downward trend, our effort is also to gain profit from the stock. Always remember that taking profit in a downward channel is considerably harder than taking profit in an upward channel. It means it has a higher risk. And as an analyst, try not to take too much profit in a downward channel. Why? Because the trend of the main price chart is negative, and no matter how much we hit the bottom and top of the channel, given the volume of the channel, there is a possibility that you will take smaller profits, and these profits may not be very worthwhile. So you be very, very careful when taking profits from channels. This video was actually a new analysis of upward and downward channels that we taught you. Later, God willing, we will talk more about it on the chart as well. We will also talk a lot about it on the chart in the software, and how we should work with the resistance and support points we have learned. Thank you and much appreciated.